not good. The Raiders had Josh Jacobs, and they have Max Crosby and Devontae Adams, 3 great players. Josh Jacobs is now leaving, and he's going to the Green Bay Packers.
Okay, first of all, who cares? Players leave all the time. That's just what happens, Mr. McCowherd.
And Josh Jacobs has made the rounds, the former Alabama star, and he'll be a big-time star in Green Bay.
That remains to be seen. Is he a good running back? Yes, he is. He is injury prone. So let's see how well he holds up in that Green Bay winter weather.
Was lamenting on a podcast about being a Raider for a few years.
We don't care. Josh Jacobs is no longer a Raider. He decided to leave. He was offered a contract. It may not have been as high as he wanted to, but at the same time, if you actually look at his Green Bay contract, it's not guaranteed, and he could get cut next year and be out of a job and out of the NFL and would have made more money if he would have stayed with the Raiders.
This is what it's like to be in a dysfunctional organization. I mean, Green Bay is going to be Disneyland.
Disneyland? Wait, Green Bay is Disneyland? How do you figure that? Aaron Rodgers left. Devontae Adams left. If it was such Disneyland, if it was so great, why did the 2 biggest stars on Green Bay leave?
The Raiders are that carnival that shows up and they host it in your high school parking lot.
I think, Colin, what happened was you woke up in the morning and you looked at yourself in the mirror and you seen that you really are nothing more than the guy who sells the tickets at a carnival, because that's what your show is. It's like the bearded lady show. It's complete and utter nonsense. Nobody takes you serious. And to be honest, you're just the poor man's version of Skip Bayless. Okay. And in fact, Skip Bayless is just a wrinkled old raisin of a racist, and you're a closet racist. So
Raider fans are so odd and delusional. They get very angry because they're all over the country and they're always asking you, how do you think the Raiders will do this year?
No, Colin, nobody's asking you how the Raiders are going to do this year, because we all know that you hate the Raiders. You've always hated on the Raiders. No matter if we're winning or losing, you will find something to pick on the Raiders and talk crap about them because you hate the Raiders. I think you're closetly a Kansas City Chiefs fan, to be honest with you, or whoever is winning at the moment.
I don't know. They're in a division with Andy Reid, Sean Payton, and Jim Harbaugh, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and a very promising rookie named Bo Nix with 61 college starts.
Okay, let's break that down because that's a lot. He's talking about all of the coaches and the great players that we have in our division. So, yes, Andy Reid is a great coach, and we spanked him on Christmas Day last year. So, check one for our head coach. The Los Angeles Chargers, we put up 63 against them last year, but I'm not really worried about the Chargers right now because the first thing Harbaugh did is tear down that team. So while he still may have Herbert, who has yet to win a playoff game, or for the most part even make it to the playoffs, they don't have anybody to throw to, and they still don't have a complete team. They're still in salary cap hell. So we're not worried about the Chargers. We own them. And then he wants to talk about Sean Payton. We owned Sean Payton last year. So what are you saying? Oh, Sean Payton's going to beat us? Sean Payton has to beat the Raiders before you can even bring up Sean Payton's name against the Raiders. Because until he actually gets a victory against us, he's a non-starter. It doesn't matter. And he doesn't have a quarterback. You want to talk about a rookie, Bo Nix. The only reason why Bo Nix was picked in the first round is because teams were panicking and trying to get a quarterback. Denver was absolutely in desperado mode, and that's the only reason why Bo Nix was picked in the first round. He was a second, third round quarterback at best, and everybody knows it. Everybody was saying it before the draft. Even you, Colin. Now all of a sudden you're talking about he's a superstar, he's a hero, he's very good. He has yet to throw a single pass in the NFL. So we don't know what he's going to be. He could be the most prolific college quarterback to ever come out of college to be the greatest bum ever in the NFL. We just simply don't know because he hasn't thrown a pass as of yet in the NFL.
And the Raiders have a defensive head coach who has $28 million in financial debt because of car dealership things gone sideways.
And there comes the personal dig at Antonio Pierce. We got to bring up his personal life because somehow his personal life is going to judge whether or not he's a good coach. Come on, Colin. You are so reaching for any ammo to try and break down a black head coach because we know how you feel about black head coaches and we know how you feel about black quarterbacks. You're always putting them down. They're not white. They're not right. That's Colin Cowherd's mainstay. And I'm a white person, so I can say that.
He's an interim coach, a former player who's never been a full-time head coach. And again, Andy Reid twice a year, Sean Payton twice a year, Jim Harbaugh twice a year, Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and potentially a really good college quarterback turning pro, Bo Nix. I don't like the Raiders.
Jim Harbaugh has not won a single game in the NFL since returning from college. He has been out of the NFL for quite a few years, and until he actually proves that he can turn that franchise down in LA around, again, we're not scared of Jim Harbaugh.
Ownership is poor. The division's good. Their quarterback's a journeyman. I don't think it's good.
He's just all over the DSAC. All over it. All over it. Look, here's the deal. Justin Herbert is a younger Kirk Cousins. He can pass for a lot of yards in the regular season, but chokes on the bag every single time he gets even close to the playoffs. His best season where he threw for over 5,000 yards was in 2021, and he choked at the end of the season. They were 9-8 by the end of it because the Raiders beat him in overtime. He couldn't even beat the Raiders to get to the playoffs in a must-win game. So until Justin Herbert goes and wins a championship, to me, he's still going to be one of the most overblown quarterbacks in the NFL.
I don't like the Raiders.
So as you can see there, he blatantly admits he doesn't like the Raiders. Now, first of all, the ownership being poor is a complete and utter lie at this point. Since moving to Vegas, Mark Davis and the Davis family's riches has increased 2 to 3-fold. He is a billionaire, something that this schmuck will never be.
And I'm really happy for Josh Jacobs.
Oh, isn't that sweet? Colin Cowherd, the racist, is on the side of a black running back. Great. I'll bet Mr. Josh Jacobs is just counting his Christmas stockings from Colin Cowherd, the guy who is clearly a racist. This is the guy who's supporting you, Josh. So keep ranting on all of these podcasts about how bad it was to be a Raider. Well, guess what, bud? You didn't even have to get drafted. And now I wish the Raiders would have never drafted you because at the end of the day, it's a team sport. You're only as good as your team. So the yards that you put up was because the offensive line.
And then there's C.J. Stroud, rookie defensive head coach.
Let's pivot to the
Dude, get your finger out of your nose. You're on a podcast.
Rookie offensive coordinator. Weird owner. Below average roster. He's not talented enough to overcome that.
He's not talented enough to overcome that, says the Cowherd. Whew. Let's see what he thinks about him after they were headed to the playoffs.
So far, C.J. Stroud has been remarkable for a rookie quarterback. You put Davis Mills starting for Houston instead of C.J. Stroud, they're a 2-win team.
Just how much they love you is how quick they'll hate you in the flip of a coin.
Well, I think that just showed everything that you needed to hear. Colin Cowherd, you're dismissed.